Hey there, I'm Mark from Spectrum Pulse, and today we have from Panopticon, the Rime of Memory. So I did not expect Panopticon to drop a project this late in 2023, but I'm not about to complain when one of my favorite black metal acts that infuses folk, country, and bluegrass into the sound delivers a small behemoth, especially when all the lyrics are available right from the jump for the 6 tracks here, clocking around 75 minutes. More black metal acts should do that. And thus it's also really frustrating when I can't say that I like this as much as I wanted to, even despite the fact that the production has mostly returned to Austin Lunn's usual high standard of quality after And Again Into the Light in 2021. The organic acoustics and strings are richer, and they complement the whistles and flutes really effectively. The chaotic blast beats and thunderous clouds of tremolo shredding, they are better balanced. And while of course I wish the bass lines would be a little bit more defined and driving outside of the post-rock segments, and I have never been that fond of the clean singing, and I really wish I could make more out of those distorted vocal samples that occasionally crop up, there is a fullness to both the cleaner passages and the black metal shredding that actually strikes an excellent balance, but the tone is different this time. Melodically, these passages tilt much deeper into minor keys, and while in the organic and post-rock segments the melancholy feels palpable, as a lot of these compositions trudge forward, there's this deeper, sour bleakness that can be a tougher swallow, especially when the overall momentum of each track is this gradual, meandering ebb, a lingering miasma that shuns dramatic crescendos and instead really wants to sink into your body and drag you down deeper. You find yourself hoping that the aching strings of the guitar lines will rip loose for some of that dramatic swell, and you know what? There are moments that really try, like the guitar and violin solos on Cedar Skeletons as they try to fight for air in the mix, and the cello bat gallop on Enduring the Snow Drought. It is just pulse-pounding and impressive, but more often than not, you get the smoldering growls that seethe over the winter's ghost as that song eventually ends with the haunted symphonic bells that later return on Enduring the Snow Drought, or the chilly, discordant desolation of An Autumn Storm. Now, to be clear, all of this is intentional. Austin Lunn has described this project as simultaneously an explosion of rage against the climate change and the climate crisis and the destruction of the natural environment, and alongside his own frustrated ennui at growing older and questioning how much any of it was truly worth it, and what we might be drawn to in order to sustain the ease of youth or convenience, but also the destruction in that wake while shunning the natural cycles of life, and the vivid poetry draped in the utterly frigid crystalline imagery. Look, as someone who grew up north of Minnesota and Winnipeg, I remember those winters. The blinding bleakness felt shockingly familiar. But an existential crisis this suffocating for so long that feels this bitter, while it can feel graphically relevant, it's also the sort of punishing listen that doesn't really want to create those old clarion moments of transcendence or surging dynamic swells, where every brighter twinkle here feels like a sick joke. And here I thought the last album was rooted in a lot of depression. Now, thankfully, by the final track, The Blue Against the White, we get that moment of, if not clarity, some purpose, an embrace of the life we have and the acceptance of possible endings. And for me, hands down, the best moment on the album almost redeems the entire project with the conclusion, alongside some just gorgeous symphonic elements and really nice transitions, but it's also not giving me that much incentive to revisit the rest of the album, if I'm being brutally honest. So overall, it's tough to critique because I can acknowledge this is doing exactly what it's designed to do, including push into that uncomfortable territory, but also outside of the ending, left me a little cold. Pardon the pun. It's absolutely good. If you got a taste for the depressive side of atmospheric black and folk metal, you're gonna like this probably more than I will. At least for me though, outside of the closer, I probably will not come back to it that much. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. If you want to see more reviews, please be sure to like, share, drop comments, and subscribe. Again, I know I'm kind of going against the critical grain by not liking this as much as at least some of the outlets I've seen cover it. I really wanted to. Panopticon's been one of my favorite black metal acts, but this just hit an odd note, and it never fully sat. And again, it is intentional, but the execution just didn't really fully coalesce. Beyond that, though, if anything else I might be able to do to improve my presentation, I'm all ears. If you guys want to argue with me more directly or support the channel, link to my Patreon's right over there. And as always, I'm Mark. You're watching Spectrum Pulse. I'll see you next time.